Alright, the next phase is the let's buy and deploy phase. Now, this is where players are going to simultaneously spend their gold to buy different things. Okay, and so this is what you can buy. You can buy units, and your units' costs are listed on your reference card. Okay, for example, here the Dark Elf Archer is 2 gold. Now, there are champions for each faction, and you can only buy them if you actually are holding that champion's power card in your hand, and then you can go ahead and pay the 5 gold, and then he'll come out. Okay. There is your battlefield upgrade, which can only be purchased again if you're holding that power card. Okay, so you can buy units. You can also buy ladders as well. The rules for ladders are in the rule book, and you can see here the ladders cost 1 gold. Okay, and some other things you can buy here is you can draw an additional power card for 1 gold each. So you could draw 2. That would cost you 2 gold. Okay, and we'll talk about this symbol here. But basically, what this means is you can pay an additional gold. You can pay plus 1 gold for each unit you want to deploy on another player's starting space in their battlefield. Okay, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. Okay, some units like the Dark Elves and the Green Tide also have equipment that they can purchase, and you can only purchase equipment again if you're holding the power card. Okay, all right. So now once all players have done purchasing, so let's say for example I wanted to buy this Infiltrator, a Dragon Ballista, and this Dark Miner. I would pay the gold, okay, put it in the bank, just set this aside, okay. What I would do is, now once everybody is done purchasing, you then, starting in turn order, again the player with the number 1 token, and then going, what he would do is he would deploy his units. And so I would deploy my units in my starting spaces, just like that. Okay. Now, I talked a little bit earlier how you could spend an additional gold to deploy somewhere else. So you can spend an extra gold to deploy in another player's starting space in any of the different battlefield locations. Now, if you do that, that may start a battle, okay? And we'll talk about battles later. But just keep that in mind, that you could spend that extra gold per each unit to deploy in other players' starting locations, okay? So after the player with the first order token goes, number 2 goes, then number 3, and then number 4, okay? Now, if you've purchased any equipment, okay, your equipment goes on the token or your unit at the time that you deploy them. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, all right, and so that wraps up the Let's Buy and Deploy phase overview.